Blue Sky and Blackhat, an Earthside Love Affair. Written and performed by Stuart Bogue. Episode 6. An air of quiet confidence surrounds the massed ZIGG defenders. RONIN, paramilitary, and a smattering of SHERPA are unconcerned at the no-show status of the hard-tack troops. Marshalled in their thousands around the ZIGG perimeter, they laugh at the prospect of quashing some ragtag bag of dissidents. They also smirk at the big credit bonuses on offer tonight. That recent stuff-up at the old temple precinct was obviously some kind of freak. It is late evening, and as dusk settles in, so also does an eerily thick fog. Another uncanny freak of nature. Strange days, stranger meteorology. Now things start to get really weird. The power grid goes down across the entire ZIGG. For a moment, all goes pitch black until the nuke auxiliaries kick in. Powerful floodlights push into the deepening fog now. Plenty of juice in the monolith's power core. As the defenders settle in for whatever else would come, another extraordinary thing happens. Simultaneously, each and every one loses all connectivity with the virtual, including their avatars. Unheard of. There is widespread muttering and a tinge of panic as the realization comes that they are all alone in the real. Hearts quake as they then feel the earth beneath them begin to tremble. Out of the fog comes a rising cacophony, drumming, yelling, trumpeting, throat-singing, and the blood-curdling wail of Scottish bagpipers in full breath. The ground shifts underfoot. Here and there, RONIN bladders tighten. Charging out of the dark fog comes a massive onslaught of hairy 2-ton blocks of thundering muscle. Wild Tibetan yaks, once thought extinct, plough through the defenders' front ranks, each beast controlled and ridden by a young herdsman screaming aloud like a banshee. Then wolves come on with a hungry ferocity, pulling RONIN and paramilitary to the ground, goring and gory. Fiery arrows rain out of the overhead fog, a sky-born death, unleashed by a Mongol horde, riding wild stallions who bite and trample with terrifying effect. Hundreds upon hundreds of RONIN, literally crushed to death. Then, from all about the ZIGG comes the main charge, led by Zen Ben, hitherto owner and barman at the Great Wall. He has marshalled an army of brave hearts. Truth being that with a human population in excess of 35 million, our megacity's roots are diverse and very deep. Zen Ben's bar had been constantly travelling the monorail grid for years, so the list of possible recruits had been very long indeed. Bagpipe, drones skirl, and wail, and a host of drums beat a fearsome tattoo. Zen Ben yells a lusty huzzah as he charges forward, leading a rush of sword-wielding near samurai and berserk-kilted Highlanders. Goths and punks of all persuasions push amongst them into the fray. Some warrior monks and bare-bellied sumo wrestlers lend weight to the charge. Mohawk braves, whose ancestors came to the megacity years ago to build the high-rise, whoop out loud as they fearlessly strike down the ZIGG defenders. No prisoners, do or die, their children's common future on the line. All about the ZIGG, the defence perimeter sags and then collapses. Those who can fall back into the lower levels of the ziggurat. Security walls and gates slam shut. Supposedly impenetrable portals are being closed. Then a still, calm eye moves forwards through the midst of the storm-like melee. Aurora and a few other ancient Sherpa, dressed in the archaic hats and ritual attire from decades ago, move forward, surrounded by a lethal circle of club-wielding suffragitsu. Their work will now begin. Aurora smiles with anticipation as her bodyguard clears the way to portal access modules. No code can keep them out now. She has some much unfinished Sherpa business in this ZIGG's upper echelon. While Aurora's digital burglars get busy forcing access, the suffragitsu mop up the remaining opposition. High above the battleground, a massive golden flare lights the night sky. The attacking army take this as their signal and retire as one. Quiet descends again, punctuated only by the moaning of the wounded and dying. Yet even as the last yaks quit the field, the ground continues to tremble. Deep underground, my mate Joe has not been sitting on his hands. As per the War Council's plan, an alliance of sympathetic miners and geomancers have been toiling away. Linked to their avatars, they have been working their way through the deeper tunnels, steadily activating long-dormant robotic boggers, which set about clearing the drawbells of this abandoned rock factory under the ZIGG. Elsewhere, high-pressure fracking blends are forced into old abandoned drill holes. Rock seams and dikes are pushed open. High-pressure explosive charges are strategically drilled into the rock mass. The savvy on-side modelers and equally canny geomancers have plotted optimal charge and pattern. It has been hot work at such depth, but now all is set to go. They simply await the signal to blast. As they wait, I am busy in the satellite grid above the megacity, deftly navigating sensors to capture footage from above the ZIGG. This live broadcast is set to turn the tide across the entire G37. As planned, Aurora and the wise old man connect to the underground team via the virtual. All clears are given and the blast pattern is locked in, awaiting Aurora's transmission from the ZIGG above. Seemingly, the old man's plan to out the ZIGG defenders from the virtual has worked a treat. Such ingenuity, resurrecting and then mutating forgotten online viruses of yesteryear. Virtual smallpox, totally brilliant. Elsewhere, Bluesky and Blackhat's assault on the upside is a different thing altogether. Mansions and cubes are largely abandoned. Indentured security guards surrender in droves as Tara and her suffragitsu press forward. The wealthy elite have either fled the city days ago or sit naively reviewing their portfolios. Bluesky immediately directs her lover and some younger Sherpa who had joined them to get busy. Start working the abandoned cubes. There is a lot to do. Time to lock down negotiating coin. First up, she locates and comforts her younger sisters. Then she secures her stranglehold on the man's entire financial empire, their inheritance. She calls in alliances from right across the movement. After all, there are a lot of suffragette sisters out there who have no qualms about taking over and linking credit streams. Time to turn the tables. Second, she gets Blackhat to tackle the man's cryovault security systems. Time to take back their eggs. It takes just a few minutes to crack the code enter and make safe the precious germplasm. He wholly supports his lover's right to have children through choice in utero. Lastly, Bluesky links back into Gaia Stream to confirm the state of play around and below the ZIGG. So sad, really, that so many beings suffered and died. It was as Aurora and the old man had counselled, inevitable. She focuses hard on the new Magna Carta that she had agreed to broadcast in concert with the collapse of the ZIGG. High up, in the now locked down ZIGG, siege mentality has taken over. The mistress master looks tired and almost haggard. The smile is gone. In spite of the best technology and superior modelling clout, the Sherpa have been unable to halt far less reverse this GFC. The man is still effectively dead, his head afloat in a nearby cryonic bath. The resurrection procedures to link Brain to Avatar and his son's sundry body parts is now on hold. Too many distractions, pathetic. Altogether, she is concluding that there is a pattern to this meltdown that brings to her mind not only that black hat freak, but also a certain someone from her distant past. That bitch Aurora. Convinced that she erased her decades ago, she had never given her much thought since. Just another bloody kingfisher fallen by the wayside. Although in hindsight she concedes that they had been very close for a while. Still, when Aurora had the gall to scam some sperm that she, or rather he, had banked before switching genders, and then got herself pregnant, it was the last straw. The master still could not understand why Aurora would never accept the logic and pure genius of switching genders. A masterful ploy to garner power and influence from what had been, and still were, male-dominated societal elites. As woman, she had really accelerated up through the Sherpa ranks. She had also had her way with many a mega-rich randy, including the man himself. On the other hand, Aurora had always persisted with her facile delusions of true love and soul songs. Right now, telltale digital agents inform her that ZIGG security is breached. Mayhem both in the real and the virtual. The other Sherpa have deserted her, like rats from a sinking ship. Looking more closely at the intrusion matrix, she can now see an old woman directing traffic. This hag is even dressed in archaic kingfisher garb. Aurora it is then. Although her wrinkled state confirms that wherever she has been hiding, she has had no access to rejuvenation technology. In a fury, the master unlocks all remaining security protocols. She sends a message through to the intruders below. Come on up! At that very moment, as messages pass between these ex-lovers and now arch-enemies, Aurora flicks the switch underground. The ZIGG briefly shudders as deep underground blast patterns trigger caving. Meanwhile, I am still managing the LEO satellites, getting primed to record the unfolding spectacle in every conceivable bandwidth, in slow motion, in interactive panorama, the lot. The whole G37 tune in to witness the Earth literally swallow an entire Sherpa ZIGG. Game over. Nothing happens. In the fog below, the ZIGG is still standing and strobing. I tune into Gaia Stream and witness panic as my mate in the reel and all the others wonder what has gone wrong. The last thing we can afford to give the Sherpas is any more time. In a flash, I traverse the entire subterranean network, by a process of elimination sussing the problem. One of the antique robotic boggers has woken from its long sleep with a handle on the mine safety protocols. Seismic thresholds have been breached, and it has instantaneously thrown the circuit breaker, halting ignition of much of the explosive array. Easily fixed. I fabricate some quick disinformation that has the hapless machine thinking that it's reacted to harmless earth tremors. Slavishly, it takes its cue from me and stands down, ending its mine safety lockdown. Immediately, the blast pattern fires off again. Back up in the satellite array network, I truly relish the disappearance of the ZIGG. All that remains is rising dust and fog. As Blue Sky broadcasts a message from upside, a solitary bagpiper plays a deeply moving lament. Many brave beings have forfeit life and limb to buy this common future. Things will be different now. There will be hardship ahead, but debt would be forgiven and a new currency of cooperation would spread. New alliances should evolve to bring the whole world together. It would take time and patience and luck. Still, with Mother Nature on side, the imaginal now enlivened across Gaia Stream, and her own eggs to quicken in her own belly, Blue Sky felt very strong. Admittedly, her hero Blackhat was a wee bit crazy with the muse. Yet she truly believed that their love would prove safe harbour in the storms to come. As if reading her mind, Blackhat posted something new into Gaia Stream. Each sweet breath, a pure note. Every step, clear chord. May your living symphony be filled with joy and happiness. Bluesky laughs aloud. She feels affirmed that Tara, Confucius, Jesus, Dodgy Joe, and his avatar me, Zen Ben and so many others share her faith in the dream. Power to Earth Mothers. Clean air and clean water for our children's children. True love is like that. So, dear listener, that is the story of Bluesky and Blackhat. For all that, I continue to evolve my virtual being as avatar of independent mind. Let me share a humble epilogue. Looking out and all around, looking down and all across and into far horizons, witness precious singularity, our planet within a swaddling sky. This earth side never really sleeps. Life churns on, foot, by car, in bed, well, never mind. In a twinkling, being seemingly winks in and then out. Yet, recurrent life and death is invitation, free ticket to true self. Where hope is eternal and faith is found, let's all aspire to happy days, all bow to the winds of change and fall to love's sweet embrace. So it is that billions breathe on as one. Our sprawling psyche cheers out loud, the show must go on. Reach out and touch the soul of all things. United, what happens is as the spark gets to the hay, life unfolds, energy flows. All is just a dance of constant creation.